Okay. Now, while you're planning on that, have you started talking already? Because sometimes, I mean, people listening to you will say, okay, but this is very big. It is so huge. It sounds like too good to be true. Because very rare you will find people saying, okay, I want to single out a particular category of people within my society that I can be able to give back to them. But now you're singling the disabled community, and that includes the crippled, the deaf, the blind, everybody who at least, you think you can be able to provide some form of service that makes them feel very, very important. Have you started talking to people?
Yes, I have.
I know your baseline support starts from, okay, God first, your baseline support, your husband is giving all of the best he can, to make sure that you realize your dream. And this I see as a God-giving kind of vision for you, because obviously it's like, catering for the welfare of humanity. Those who have been like, not, I wouldn't say ostracized, but not really catered for when it comes to quote unquote national development and all that. But I am looking at it as something that can work. So in terms of looking out there, have you actually been able to identify somebody, or are you in the process of doing that?
Well, as I stated earlier, this is not something overnight.
Uh-huh.
Okay, it's been something that I've been dreaming about and started because of a sibling that I had. Also, 1996, my organization was established, and July 3rd marked 16 years, of us being existent. And I've been talking to donors overseas, but it's like you said, my dream is very massive and very big. And most of the time when I talk to people overseas, they say, oh, you're doing this all by yourself? Okay, do you have a board? Is your government, supporting you? Mm. And my response is no, I'm all alone. Okay, but a journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step.
Yeah.
And I, couldn't come back to my government because, there's just no care for, these children. Okay, but I was very, very enthusiastic and happy when President Johnson signed the special education into law in August. And I said to my husband, I'm going to be on the first plane back. And sure enough, I was here on the first plane back to receive that law and actually review it.
Okay.
And but disappointingly, after I looked and reviewed the law, my target area was still not being served.
Okay.
But I say, I'm not going to give up. I'm going to come and I'm going to try my best and try to get to the president to tell her thank you very much for signing into law.
But there must be some amendments.
I have no support. I mean, I'm not going to go through the bureaucracy of them amending it, but wanted to let her know that I am going to take the challenge to start it and to implement it, on my own. Okay, and I was fortunate to meet the president on Friday, the 27th of July.
Okay, after the Independence.
Right on Independence Day, we met at the children party. Okay, and I was the education minister, which is Emmanuel Davis. Emmanuel Davis Tape. Okay, introduced me to the president and said there's a lady here that wants to bring special education to Liberia, specifically for the intellectually disabled. And Madam President, we do not have it, and we do not have any plans of helping this group. So I think she should be, commended. So I met the president, talked to her about it, and she said, Lofty, she called me my first name. I'm going to work with you, and I'm going to support you, and do anything I can to help you, through the Ministry of Education. And I was very, very happy, that we had that conversation. So now I can go back to people who think my dream is big and ugly and massive. Okay,
bigger than yourself.
Bigger than myself.
Mm-hmm.
I can say to them that, yes, I do have the support of my government. And if it's bigger than you, it's not of you. Yeah, it's of God.
Okay.
So.
Well, that's the voice of Lofty Major. She's a Liberian humanitarian based in the United States, and she has vast interest in building the intellectual capacity of those with disabilities. She's flanked by her husband, Mr. Burke Major. He is her partner in this endeavor, and it's all about, finding a way to meet the needs of those who are disabled in our society through a special education program that she envisaged. She's being able to acquire 40 acres of land. She's actually working towards paying for that land along the Robertsfield Highway, but it's going to be like a campus that will be that will comprise of residential area, recreational, commercial, and also teacher training, vocational, all compacted within a package to make sure that disabled people in this country are have access to specialized education, and they can become worth it in society and also contribute to the building process of this nation. We'll take a break, and when we come back, we'll just be basically looking at the kind of baseline support that has been provided by Mr. Major and how far they think they can take this, and what's the initial number they're starting with. When can these students start going to school? Cigarette in the Rain, a beautiful song there by Randy Crawford on Women's World. And if you're just joining us, this is Women's World, and we're talking to Mrs. Lofty Major. She's a Liberian humanitarian based in the United States, and she has interest in building the intellectual capacity of those with disabilities in our country. She's also here with her husband, Mr. Burke Major, who is also partnering with her in this endeavor and also giving her support to make sure that the vision is realized. Mr. Major, let me come to you. In terms of, running with this? Because I know it's very big, and sometimes if you think about it, you say, wow, this is too good to be true, and this is too huge. How can I handle that? But, just looking at it again and believing in the process as well, what has been this baseline support that you are providing in the meantime, sir?
Baseline support, well, Lofty right now is totally focused directly on MHA, which is My Heart's Appeal project.
Okay.
In the States, she's totally geared towards just that. That is generating awareness in the States, as well as trying to solicit fundings and all of that to get it going.
Okay.
So on the other side of that is where I come in.
That's where you come in.
Working to sustain our project mm-hmm. as well as our home. Okay. We right now we have a child that lives with us.
Okay.
And I totally when she can do the running with the kid,
you have to.
I have to do that.
Okay.
When we have to travel, we have to make provisions, and I have to take all of that to help lessen
the burden.
The burden as to she just focusing on getting this going and for it to succeed.
Okay.
We have been here and back in the system 3 times now.
Okay.
And all of that has been funding on
from your pocket.
From
personal
my
pocket.
Personal pocket.
All right.
And even my Heart's Appeal's bills and all of that.
I know.
Is from my pocket. But I mean, she were very convincing when we got married about the program, and I believe in the program.
Okay.
And so it was not hard for me to say, okay, go ahead and do this, and I'll give you all of the support that I can.
Yeah.
And so right now, that's just what I'm doing. I'm there with her 100%. I have been to some of the fundraising.
Yeah, fundraising.
She had a silent auction because she's going to explain about another program that we have.
Mm-hmm.
She had a silent auction which I helped, totally. I mean, so I've been
always there, standing by her side and make sure that she doesn't feel, because her success is your success.
Exactly so. And sometimes it can be frustrating.
I agree with you.
And so I'm like, okay, I know it's frustrating, but you can do it.
Okay.
I believe in you.
Okay.
And
so along that line, are you also maybe scouting around for external support, because you cannot continue to facilitate this process from your pocket? You guys have to, make sure you lay aside for, the rainy days. So you can't just forget yourself altogether. But are you looking out for other potential partners who actually would be able to share this vision, to say, okay, this is something I think I can put my hat out to, into. This is something I'm sure I can be able to meet these people halfway to see what they can do. Have you started conversations around that?
Well, we are doing all of that.
Okay.
This is, like she said, that it's bigger than us.
Okay.
Okay. If it was just a one-man thing, I think
you'd be out of it.
Okay. We'll be probably finished doing it and moving on. But this is real bigger than us. Okay. And so in order for us to accomplish this, it's going to take more than just us. Once upon a time in the States, Hillary Clinton then said,
mm-hmm.
the country is like a village, where we all have to come together and, in order for us to be successful. And so that this project is inclusive. I mean, it's going to take not just Mrs. Major and myself, but it's going to take all of us. Collective effort, whatever moral financial that support we can get, that would be welcome. But in the meantime, we still have to keep it going, and so that's my pledge to her, and that's what we've been doing until the organization can stand on its own feet.